Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Report. Finally, we have rain on the way. Big storm that is going to be developing over us. You can see the triple point there, occluding front. You can see over here, there's your occluding front right here. And warm front there, cold front. Obviously, this is the warm sector. This is going to be providing the moisture for our storm. Also, a huge storm out in the northwest that actually hit last night. A huge. I was showing it to you on the satellite because it was so impressive. And it actually caused a lot of power outages. We could start with that just first, just get this out of the way. They were up to over 700,000 without power last night. They have a lot of these transmission lines that went down. They have a lot of wooden transmission lines in that area. A lot of just, you can see all these outages. Puget Sound Energy, 474,000. Snohomish, 119,043. Just a lot of power outages that occurred due to this storm. Their infrastructure is pretty bad over there. If you think the infrastructure here is bad, oh, you haven't been to the Northwest. It's pretty bad. I'm going to talk a little more about that, I think, toward the end of the video. I'll just go over briefly that storm, but I want to talk first about what we have coming our way. But still, it's just an example of the atmosphere just getting more energy in it. We're seeing more energetic troughing, and that's going to contribute to bigger storms and more rainfall, especially for us, which is very, very important right now. So let's go and look at the radar right now. And you'll see, again, this bomb cyclone leading. It actually killed one person and left 500,000 without power. So, yeah, this is a big storm here that hit out there. Actually, more than 600,000 customers without power. I'm going to talk about this. This is the satellite and stuff. Well, again, we will talk about this toward the end of the video. I want to first talk about us. That's the priority, our local weather. So let's go to the radar here, and you'll see we have a nice arc of rain here along the secluded front here, and there's some heavy rain in here too. Some really heavy rain and even thunderstorms in here possible here going on through Maryland and stuff. This is a nice occluding front. You've got a nice pinch off going on with the warm sector getting pinched off from the base, and it's all just getting lifted up, and the moisture is being wrung out of the atmosphere, and there's a lot of heavy rain here falling, and this is the kind of heavy rain that we need so badly that we're finally going to be getting. I'm kind of curious if there's any lightning with these. Let's just go look at the lightning detection, see if there's any lightning here. There is. There has been. So these are some thunderstorms over Delaware, it looks like. And this actually is causing some power outages in Virginia, believe it or not. 54,000. Pennsylvania has 22,000. We can take a look and see where these areas that are affected are. So there's going to be some stronger winds with this as well. There will be some scattered possible power outages likely. Virginia hardest hit. So we do have some power outages from this storm. Obviously, Washington still at 397,717. We'll talk about that later. But let's go and look at some of the observations that we have right now. If you look at some of the observations in the area that is getting hit, you'll see we have some pretty strong wind gusts here. And you also note that there is a wind advisory in effect for much of the mid-Atlantic area, including much of New Jersey, Pennsylvania. We have a wind advisory, if that would show on the screen. We do definitely have a wind advisory here. That's the tan color. It doesn't want to show on the screen. You can see some of these wind gusts here. Pretty impressive here. 43, northwest wind at 29, gusting to 43 at Washington Dulles Airport. So some strong winds causing some power outages. And you'll also notice that if we go further off to the north and west, you'll notice snowfall. That's right. There are some winter... oh my God, what is going on with this thing? now it's deciding to display the hazards. Winter storm watches, believe it or not, for the mountains. Yes, some areas could see the first snowfall. Winter weather advisories too, with this, and we even have some winter storm warnings in the pink in some of these mountain areas here. Believe it or not, yes, and you can see why. Temperatures already below freezing, 32. And light snow being reported. This is a very interesting storm that we have developing across our... Looking at Long Island, you can see that we've got some coastal flood advisories in effect and coastal flood statements in effect. 54 degrees at Islip, dew points up to 46. So starting to see a little more moisture in the air. So let's go and look. And again, by looking at this, you kind of see where the warm sector is here at this point. I kind of just want to show you where it is. It's getting pinched off though, but it's down here. If we get the dew points, you'll be able to trace it here, where the dew points are higher. So that's your warm sector. So we'll go over our highs for the day. Nothing really too exciting here. Highs around 60 degrees, still above normal. Still above normal. Let's see if Jersey was any warmer. Come on. Yeah, they were. They got into the mid-60s. And lows. Let's see if we can get the lows. Somehow it did get down to 37 in West Hampton. Lows were in the mid-40s, mid-50s in the city, including probably my alley. And low, yeah, pretty much mid-40s in Jersey as well. Not much radiational cooling. Yeah, we're currently in the mid-50s. My alley's in the low 60s. It's very warm in here. I might even have to put the air conditioner on. Yeah, I know. The air from the alley is very warm. It's not cool at all. So let's look at the satellite here. And you'll see plenty of clouds. We did have some sun over the east end. And believe it or not, there was actually some. I'm going to just roll this back for a little bit here. Let's see. I'm going to have to put this back pretty far, I think. Yeah, because it gets dark early now, and you know what? Instead of doing it this way, because, yeah, this is just, yeah, look at this. I don't know what's going on here. My gosh, come on. You know, let's just put this back to the 24 frames, because this is not going to work. We have to go to the Modus satellite and look at this, just to show you that we did have some wildfire smoke over Connecticut, believe it or not, today. So we could take a look closely. Yeah, looks like there's a wildfire right over here. Somewhere in, where is that? Connecticut or Massachusetts? It's actually Massachusetts. Yeah, you can see some of the smoke actually making it. I think that's a wildfire, isn't that? Let's see. Yep. Yeah, there's smoke. That's a lot of smoke. Great Barrington. So it looks like there was a big wildfire in Great Barrington, in north and southwestern Massachusetts. So some of the smoke was making it into Connecticut, and I even thought I smelled some smoke around here too, especially when I was in Babylon. They were saying there was some of it was drifting into Connecticut, but it looked like the smoke was, yeah, you can sort of see it drifting from here and then drifting down into Suffolk County and through Connecticut. So yeah, luckily we're not going to have to hear about these wildfires anymore because rain is on the way. And let's go back to that current satellite image. You can see the moisture being advected here as well. So nice. We're going to go to a larger look at this, and you'll see the whole storm here. Very nice arc of moisture here coming through us. This front is occluding, and we're going to finally get some much needed rain from this. So let's go look at some more radars here. And we should have some, no rain on the radar yet. Like I said, we have to, the rain is still a ways away, but you can see there's some really heavy rain. So if we go and we move the radar up, you can see it actually has a special marine warning for Chesapeake Bay. But you can see here there is really some heavy rain that is making its way in. So real heavy coming into, and this is the heavy rain that we're going to be getting into after midnight tonight. And we do need it. And it looks like it's going to go right over New Jersey, and boy, do they need it. Those Pine Barrens are thirsty. And there have been some fires that they've gotten contained, but they're not completely out. This is going to finally put these fires out, finally. And I am so sick of this whole thing with the wildfires. I'm dealing with them for way, way too long. And you can see, again, there's your wind advisory. No wind advisory. I don't think we have a wind advisory for us. I don't think we have a wind advisory. I'll check. No, just a coastal flood statement. But let's go just briefly look at our statistics at Islip today. High of 59, low of 44, still 8 degrees above normal, but it will be cooling down once this storm passes. So let's go look at the back to the Weather Prediction Center map. And again, you'll see this low here. We can do the surface analysis too to show you. There's your purple occluding front, occluded front, but the front is occluding. This warm sector is going to pinch off, and that's going to help enhance the precipitation and develop another low right here at this, what do you call it? I think it's called a triple point. So you're going to have another low that's going to be developing right over our area that's going to be producing some decent rains. And if we look at the QPF forecast, you'll see. Look at that, the purple there developing. That's purple is 1.5 to 2 inches of rain, and surrounded by at least 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain. We may wind up overperforming. Boy, that would be nice. So let's look at the models now, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the GFS here. And I'm just going to move this to the Eastern U.S. view, so we got a little more of a better view here. So we can I'll move this to the radar simulation here. So get an idea, and just again showing you the basics of what's happening here. We have this low that's going to be developing over here, enhancing heavy precipitation, and the rain's going to linger perhaps through the day tomorrow. With that low kind of sitting on top of us. So Jersey, it may not linger, but that'll help it add to the precipitation rainfall totals. You'll see the snow to the north and the west there. Here we are on Friday. The low kind of just it's cut off, so it kind of does a loop-de-loop. And then it goes back into Pennsylvania, and then it moves back out over the coast, and there could be another area of precip Friday night, and then the low finally pulls away. But you notice how tight those isobars are. There's going to be a lot of wind on Saturday, but fortunately, with everything with everything soaked, we're not going to have to worry about any wildfires. So let's go to the latest HRRR model here, and the 0Z HRRR, and show you how the different models handle this. Obviously, here comes your rainfall, and again, this is all getting pinched. This is all getting pinched off. So heavy rainfall early Thursday morning after midnight. Heavy rainfall, maybe even a shot embedded thunderstorm in there. The HRRR does sort of have it getting a little lighter and more showery by the afternoon. You would notice there's still going to be some rain around. So lighter rain, but there could still maybe be some heavier rain in there. And it's going to start getting breezy as well. Here's your center of low pressure going right over us. So that rain does continue. And then Friday, that low goes back to the north. It does a really strange maneuver. It goes back to the northwest. Precipitation, according to the HRRR, would taper off. But then we'd see it redevelop again later Friday night here. And you can see there's another area of rain here that might wind up coming in here on Friday. Yeah, this is it looks like it's developing another low pressure system because it's cutting off. So this is going to give us a decent amount of rain. So let's see, this goes out through 7 p.m. on Friday. So let's take a look and see total accumulated precip. And look at that! Wow, it's got between 1 and 2 inches of rain for most of our area, which is very, very important. Most of that, I think, most of that's going to fall in the overnight hours. But there could still be, we could still pick up a little more rainfall through Friday with this chilly, blustery flow. And also, if we go to the total snowfall here, you notice some areas to the north and west going to get some snowfall, and you may see some flakes. Even some flakes in the air. Can't even rule it out even down here on Friday. But you can see there some areas to the northwest may get, I don't think anything. Maybe in the highest elevation there may be accumulation, but I think you have to go into the mountains, and these are probably overdone as it is. I don't think you're getting feet and feet of snow. But some areas where the winter storm warning is could get more than 6 inches. That's not going to be an issue for anything close to our area, though, at all. Dew points in wind flow, just to, again, show you the reflection of the storm here. You'll see those winds pick up tonight. You can see how that moist air kind of gets pinched off right there. Low pressure develops. Pretty strong easterly winds tomorrow are going to develop, so it will be a wind-driven rain. And then the winds go from the east to the west. As we get into Friday, that low kind of goes back, and the winds go west and almost southwest a little bit. It looks like the winds are going to be strongest tomorrow. Friday, it looks like they get a little bit lighter as that low kind of opens up a little bit. And you can see there is drier air in place, but with those dew points close to the freezing mark, it could support a snowflake or two even in our area. Temperatures tonight, not really going to drop very much. Tomorrow, we're going to be steady in the probably upper 40s and low 50s. And then the colder air comes in as we get into Friday. Friday morning, 30s, upper 30s. And then we're going to struggle to get to the mid-40s on Friday. So it's going to be pretty chilly. Obviously, plenty of cloud cover. I want to look at some of the other models here. The NAM, let's see. We got most of the 0Z NAM in, so let's go ahead and look at that as well. So here's the NAM, and you can see again there's that rain coming in. Heavy rain. Give me some reds there. That would be a good soaker right there. And you can see throughout the day we have shower activity. So light to even maybe even moderate rain throughout the day tomorrow. And then that low lifts up, and you can see there's some snow around it. So again, it's not going to be huge snowfall accumulations with this, but it will be for areas to the north and west. It will be their first snowfall of the season. And then you can see how the low does a loop-to-loop. Friday we're mostly dry, but then in the evening we could see rain redevelop, some showers possibly redevelop as that low kind of just pivots and then starts moving southeast. So it does a whole spiral over us, which is pretty interesting. But I think we have pretty good agreement here. Total accumulated precip on the NAM. The NAM's a little more generous, giving most areas, especially on Long Island, 2 inches of rain. And Jersey between 1.5 to 2 inches. So that is what the NAM is showing. You can also look at the GFS. Obviously, these are lower resolution models. GFS, let's go to the European. The European also showing some has even some darker areas. Cambian rules some areas out, possibly getting as much as 3 inches. And that creates some issues because there are areas where the fires burned and we could see some mudslides. It's like California, but we could see some mudslides with that as well. Let's go to and I'm just going to put this back to the European so you get an idea again of what we have. Again, pretty much an agreement here on what's going to be happening here. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a stormy 48 hours. Let's go and look at the HDRPS, which is a fun one always to look at here. Don't have it full 18Z running, but you can see, look at that red over Jersey. That's incredible. So the HDRPS really showing some heavy rain. And that heavy rain is it's showing it lingering around through Thursday. I'm sure this rainfall is really going to look nice. Well, yeah, we only got out till 17Z. So can't use this model because it's not showing everything. But whatever the case is, we're going to be looking at. And the other thing, of course, is the winds. So let's go to the NAM 12, and we'll go ahead and look at the winds on the NAM here. So I can show you the winds here for tomorrow, and you can see the winds here. Yeah, the winds don't look terrible, but it looks like they're mostly over the water. But we're going to look at some of these for whatever reason, this site underestimates the wind over the land. So we'll look at another site for that. So plenty of rain in the forecast. Luckily, we need it badly, and we're going to get it finally. This is long, long overdue. Let's look at Ventu Sky. And we can look at the winds here as well. So let's go to this. Wind gusts. Obviously, not too much right now, but let's move this into Thursday. So 6 a.m., it looks like it's showing some pretty strong winds on the Jersey Shore. Where this low develops, and you could have some really strong northwest gusts up to 40. And again, showing some gusts. Long Island's not as impressive, but you can see why they had the wind advisory more for Jersey. You can see here's your center of low pressure. Got some pretty decent wind gusts, so it'll be a wind-driven, raw day tomorrow. There you go. 55. Normally, it's the kind of day where I wouldn't want to be out, but, I miss the rain, so I actually miss the rain. I actually want to be out in it. So you can see I have some wind gusts, so it'll be wind-driven rain tomorrow. Yeah, some pretty strong wind gusts, actually. I think we could I don't know why they haven't put the wind advisory up for Long Island. I think we need a wind advisory tomorrow for sure. So tomorrow, especially tomorrow night, you can see these winds pick up here. And then as we go into Friday, you could see some more winds, but not as bad. But as that low opens up, the winds won't be as much of a factor. I think it's more tomorrow night and have that low really developing and going off on that occluded triple point there that you're going to have this. We're going to get into some of that wind for sure tomorrow, although it won't be anything like what they saw in the Pacific Northwest. As far as clouds go, I shouldn't even show this to you because it's fairly obvious that we're going to have plenty of clouds around. We don't even have this full run yet, so yeah, this is not even working. So yeah, we don't even have the full run on this. So I'm not even going to bother showing that to you. Let's talk about the storm out in the West because that was, it says here, more than 600,000 customers in Washington and 15,000 in California were without power. And there's that bomb cyclone. So really, it affected part of Canada too. Look at that thing. Winds gusted as high as 85 miles an hour in Oregon and hit 101 off the coast of Vancouver. The storm dropped to a pressure of 27.82 inches of mercury, likely the strongest storm ever measured off the coast of Washington state. So a record breaker. Over a foot of snow fell in several locations in Washington, with 15 inches reported in Mallet. Late Tuesday, South County Fire, located in Snohomish County, north of Seattle, said on Facebook, so there's one fatality. A homeless woman had died when a tree fell on her. These are some of the wind gusts here in Oregon, 85 miles an hour, so really incredible winds here. And lots of power outages as well. Power outages, schools canceled in a lot of areas, obviously. If we go to look at the current power outage map here in Washington, you'll still see that we still have a lot of hard-hit counties. You see Snohomish. All right, it looks like they are making some recovery here. King County. So they are making some progress. California, we still have 19,000. Looks like they finally restored Del Norte. There was a big blackout in Del Norte because their transmission line went down. So, yeah, their infrastructure cannot handle this. So we're gonna look at some of the utility pages and show you some of the damage. So this picture perfectly illustrates the damage. You see this transmission line here, and it's a wood pole. Obviously, a tree branch fell on it. It snapped. They have a lot of their transmission lines wood. I mean, these things should be... I mean, look at the trees. They're so much higher. First of all, they got to be higher than the trees. All right? So it's no surprise a tree's going to fall on it and cause that line to come down. Yeah, an even better example here. This pole looks like it's snapped. Yeah, the top of it snapped. So... they shouldn't be using wood. I mean, why are they using this stuff? I mean, there are storms. We're going to have more and more storms. These need to be metal. They need to be a lot higher up. These are some of the things we're going to have to do. And I'm hoping maybe the Trump administration will make this a priority, that these power lines, these wooden power lines, need to be replaced with all metal or concrete. And we need to do what Florida's done, and we need to do it across the whole country. This is completely unacceptable. And another area that was blacked out was North Bend, and again, you're going to see that their infrastructure looks like it's absolutely pathetic. So, let's take a look at this. So you'll see, yeah, that's... Are you kidding me? I mean, that's what they're using. So, yeah, this is not able to withstand these storms, and this has to be replaced. This is just junk, all right? Junk. But this is the Pacific Northwest is woeful. If there's anyone that can't prepare for storms, it's the Pacific Northwest. They have almost entirely wood on their transmission side. So this is not acceptable. And, hopefully people get the message out there because there are going to be more storms like this, especially in this climate. And you actually could see the... so let's go and look at this storm here for a moment. We're going to look at the... Pacific Northwest. It's probably too zoomed in. I can try that, but I don't think it's going to show the storm. Yeah. Let's just to show you the storm. It's still kind of sitting there too. So you'll do Northern Pacific. I think that's kind of there. That's perfect. Look at that. There's the storm right there. So that's very intense. So one of the strongest. I think they had one of the biggest power outage situations on record over there. So with the storm, you can see here it is. Look at that. There it is. Yeah, look at that. Almost looks like a tropical system. Yeah, it's kind of just sitting there. So now you have a conveyor of moisture coming up into California here. You can see that conveyor right there coming into California. So they're going to be getting a lot of rain over there as well. So if we look at the radar again. We can go back to this. Let me show you this here. Should be a nice little ribbon of rain coming into California. There is, so you can see that. So they're still dealing with precipitation. I still see some heavy showers and storms there too as well. So like a switch, it's getting flipped. We had a very dry, ridiculously dry weather. Now we're seeing a lot of big storms. So, but anyway, yeah, bad situation for the Pacific Northwest. Their infrastructure, absolutely terrible. But yeah, look at this radar. I mean, there is some heavy rain now coming into Dover. This is some really torrential rain here, and there could be some strong wind gusts in this band of heavy rain. So this is what's causing some power outages in that area. Going back to the weather and hazards map, we can take a look at some of the observations in this area. I don't see any crazy wind gusts. Let me take these dew points out of here. Kind of make it easier to see. But still, yeah, there's a 43-mile-an-hour wind gust here. So behind this boundary, you're going to get some strong winds. And that's what we're seeing, and plenty of rain. I'm just kind of curious to see how much rain has fallen in this area in the past 6 hours. Let's see what we got here. Not really getting a whole lot of reports yet, but yeah, at least a half an inch. But there'll be more. There's more rain on the way. So that's going to wrap things up tonight. So again, be prepared for some really heavy rain overnight. And through the morning, and then some light to moderate rain throughout the day tomorrow. It's going to be a rainy day tomorrow, a much-needed rainy day. So that wraps up this Long Island weather report. Have a good night.